Hey guys, hi. Nice to meet you in this virtual world. I'm James Fleming and I am the Program Director for the undergraduate BSc in Sport and Exercise Nutrition, and I'm also the Program Director for the Masters in Applied Sports Nutrition. So going to go through our virtual open day, going to go through the course, break it all down, tell you all as much as I know about it as possible, tell you a little bit about some areas as well if you don't know about the place. And then if you have any questions, please do jot them down. I can't see them at the moment because of this technical glitch, but I will go through them at the end to make sure you're all happy. Just another thing whilst we go through, if you have any questions after this, anything at all, please contact me on my email. That'll be at the end of this presentation. Happy to organise a Zoom, phone call, whatever, to make sure you are happy with everything so you can make the best decision for you. So going to go through a bit of the kind of admin-y bits about St Mary's Vision. So we've got a St Mary's Vision 2025, and the whole basis is, as it says there, to enhance our students' learning and personal development to help them achieve the best results. Everything at St Mary's is very much focused around the student, and I'm not doing a hard sale because I've done plenty of these now. Jen will vouch for me on this. But one thing that St Mary's is really, really good at is having that homely feel. We're a smaller university. We get to know all of our students by name and face, rather than if you go to some big institutions, you are just a number. Like I said, we have that support network, so we make that transition a little easier. As well as, if you don't know about St Mary's, it's a nice campus university. The local area is really nice. Obviously, we're literally a minute away from the Thames, close to Kingston, close to Twickenham, and plenty to do as well as if you want to go into central London. So some of our core values, and like I said, I'm a lecturer and not a salesman, so we have inclusiveness, generosity of spirit, respect and excellence. And essentially, you guys are coming to us as adult learners at this stage. I used to teach at college for many years, and I used to be the same there in the way I used to teach there anyway, but very much you guys come in and you're on the same level as us. There's no hierarchy here. We teach, we give you respect, you give us respect. We're striving to make sure you can achieve and hopefully go and prosper following the hopefully some of the best years of your life coming to university. And I know it's a big decision, so yeah, hopefully I can help with that today. So making sure, again, you are happy with what we can offer you, and that we can kind of embed these core values along the way. If you didn't know what that is, guys, that's like the mezzanine area, and that's kind of a chill out area. Alongside, kind of on the left is the refectory and the canteen, and on the right is on the big main campus buildings as well. And we have a track and all sorts of bits and bobs on campus too. If you do get a chance, I know it's obviously a weird time, but if you get a chance, you're local enough, I would recommend having a little drive around the area. And the university is obviously about the course and everything else, but we know that it's important about where you're moving to if you're moving out to the area, what the local area has to offer. So go around, check out Teddington, Twickenham, Kingston, go and have a look around the campus. The campus, I mean, you can't actually go in the building, but you could walk around the area. I'm sure you can walk around the open spaces as well. And no one's going to kind of tell you off for that. I might be wrong here, Jen, you can tell me otherwise, but I would definitely recommend doing that just to make sure you're happy as well. So why choose St Mary's? Again, this is a bit of a sales pitch. This is straight from the textbook, which I'm sure you've all read. We are massive on student experience. We're one of the best in London for student experience. People love being at St Mary's. They love the feel of St Mary's. For you guys, we've got Olympic level sports facilities. So we've got the Mo Farah track. He's one of my most famous alumni, as well as Joe Wicks. We won't talk about Joe Wicks as much. We've got a performance education centre, which is an indoor S&C area. So something like 10, 15 Olympic weightlifting platforms. We've got a massive rig, all this stuff that you can use. We've got biomechanics labs, physiology labs, nutrition labs. So everything you need from a sport and exercise nutrition point of view to really hit the ground running. We've also got a body composition lab as well with bod pods, and to be able to look at that too. So in terms of research, I know you guys are probably not thinking about that at this stage. We've got so much potential for you guys to get to grips with and you know, try and investigate these important and interesting areas. We have an international outlook. We do have the opportunity for you guys to do a study abroad on this course. Sorry, so you can do one semester abroad. We've got one student going to Australia hopefully next year, all being well. And our personalised support is what I've discussed already. So myself and all the other people on the program here are very much happy to meet you on a one-to-one, phone calls, whatever it might need to be to support you throughout your journey at St Mary's and beyond, I should say, as well. Local transport links, again, I'm not a specialist in this, but we are within 30 minutes from central London. Jump on a train, nice and easy. Hampton Court, beautiful if you want to have a little look around there. Obviously, easy access to Heathrow, Kew Gardens, central London, you know, it's absolutely huge. I'm sure if you haven't been before, then if you do come by, you've got everything on your doorstep really here, 25 minutes away plus. And loads of opportunities from a student point of view as well. I know it's important for you guys to go out and socialise. Again, we're better than central London really. And obviously we have our student union as well on campus, which will be important for you guys, as well as a shuttle bus to Kingston. I shouldn't be doing a sales pitch on you guys socialising, but obviously it's something that is important. So just so you're aware, that is all there and in place. So why choose sport and exercise nutrition? Probably the important bit. Firstly, because it's awesome. We all know that. I hope you know that. I obviously love it. My background is sports science, and then I did a master's in applied sports nutrition. Now I'm doing a PhD in kind of a bit of a hybrid of both. Why choose our area? Students are really happy. You would be the second cohort ever on this program. It's a really new area. You'll be the second cohort ever for the BSc. And a massively developing area of sports nutrition. The master's program that I also am the program director for, we've got big numbers, and we have done for the last 4 or 5 years. Some real success stories of people going to work in professional sports, having been consultants, working alongside personal training, those sorts of things. So we know that it's a growing area, and there's a big, strong career focus. This program we're looking at here is quite applied in nature, so that you can get out and use your skills in the real world rather than just learning textbook skills. Core team, there's a small core team of sports nutritionists, but then also on top of that, you've got physiologists and sports science that come in, and as well as that, you have the specialists in nutrition too. So you'll have a real dedicated team. Really good learning facilities. Course endorsement. So if you haven't seen this already, guys, the SCNR is the Sport and Exercise Nutrition Register. They've endorsed the program, which means that it's got the quality stamp to say that the British Dietetics Association are happy with what we're delivering. So the master's program we got is an accredited program, which means that once you've done the master's, you can get on the register. The undergraduate is an endorsed program, which means that it's got all the standards, you're developing all the skills that will be required to get there, but you just need to top up afterwards. So really important we've got that, because it's a protective stamp as well. We know that there's personal trainers, Herbalife people, all sorts of other people that are going out there doing a one-day course and pretending they're nutritionists. We know Instagram is loaded with people like that. These social media influencers, yet they've done no qualifications. And then there's you guys that are coming in with the right frame of mind to say, I want to learn this, and I want to be the champion of sports nutrition. And that's what I really want. We want people like you to come in and start questioning these people online, or actually sending these positive science-based messages so that people are getting the right story. And really, really important, because we are in an industry at the moment which is being flooded with rubbish. I'm sure this is being recorded as well, so that'll go down well by people that see this in the future. So the complex nature of sports nutrition, what will we look at? We'll look at nutrition, obviously the fundamentals. We need to know how the body responds to different nutrients. We'll look at novel foods. So when I say by novel foods or functional foods, we've got the idea that there's supplements, there's normal foods, and then there's this kind of hybrid. So there's something in the middle. Now, if you go to Tesco and you look down the yogurt aisle, you'll find yogurts with live cultures in there. So you'll have yogurts with like Yakult. Is that a normal food? Is that a novel food? Or is that a functional food? All of a sudden you've got foods fortified, and they have been for years, with iron and vitamin D, because we're not getting enough in our diet. Is that normal food, or are we kind of manufacturing that? Is that special novel foods or functional foods? Or you can get yogurts now with 20 grams of protein additional. Is that a supplement? I'm not sure. So the way the food's going is something we need to really discuss, and the way the market is being led. I won't talk about protein too much because you'd lose me. You'd be here for a few hours. Performance and health is really important. So obviously sports nutrition, we're going to talk about those people that are just doing it from a fitness and health point of view, all the way up to elite sport. Okay, so how do we make those marginal gains to become the best sports person we can? Okay, And we will look at all the intricacies regarding that. So why is it that when I'm fitter and I've got more muscle mass, I can get away with having that donut, when someone who's got more fat mass might store that and it might be more detrimental to them? We need to talk about the system, okay? We need to talk about how the body utilizes these fuels. And actually, when we are fit, it's a knock-on effect. The body is better at utilizing these fuels and better at burning it. Different requirements for different sports. I'm sure those of you out there that are watching this today will have your individual sports who you like, and we'll go through that and make sure you have the skills to be able to work with any sports person. And then physiology of exercise is really important. So the effects of sport on the body, and then how that interacts with nutrition as well. Okay, so there'll be physiology embedded within every year, and there's obviously nutrition embedded within every year. So you'll be working alongside sports scientists there as well. It's really important we know that in different environments, what happens to the body? Why is it that when it's really warm, I struggle when I go for my run? What do we do? And vice versa, when it's really cold, what happens? How does the body adapt? We know the body is a master adapter. It's amazing. You stress the body just silly amounts and it will try and deal with it. It will keep you alive in many, many ways, unless you've really gone a long, long way. So we need to look into that and what's actually happening. Long-term, short-term, acute, can I deal with it? If I do this over a long period of time, what actually happens to me? And then I really like this quote. I've just changed this one today. The one at the top, this is what we're trying to sort of promote. So promoting good health and supporting sports performance. But something I really like is that picture there. So athletes eat and train, they don't diet and exercise. For me, the term diet is completely lost now. Just think to yourself, this isn't a lesson, but when you hear the term diet, what do you think? Do you think restriction? That's what I think. But actually diet is anything we eat or consume, right? It's not a negative word, but it's almost a dirty word now, because people think diet, oh, what do I need to have? I need to have this meal or this shake or this vitamin or this mineral or this supplement. When actually, you know, diet can be anything. It's not a bad thing. And remember that athletes eat and train. They eat to perform. They don't diet and exercise. Carbohydrates are not the devil in this population, I guarantee you that. So then just going a bit more the structure of the course, so you know. So like I said, there's a picture of the labs at the top there. There's a kitchen lab at the bottom left, and there's a biochemistry lab on the bottom right. So we're very lucky at St Mary's to have these. I'm not going to go through these in great detail, guys, but if you can find this all online in a bit more detail. So the yellow or kind of mustard color is in the first semester, and the blue is in the second semester. So in the first year, you will do Introduction to Nutrition 1, Introduction to Research and Professional Skills for Nutritionists. And in the second semester, you do Intro to Nutrition 2, Physiology of Exercise and Food Science. So you're thinking, okay, there's quite a lot of nutrition here. Of course, we need to get the fundamentals in. The first year is all about getting you up to scratch, making sure we've got all the skills and the fundamentals for nutrition and physiology so that you can understand and apply it in the second year. Some of you are probably thinking, okay, why is there research in there? Well, any undergraduate course you do in the country, you will do research every single year, because we're developing the skills to be an undergraduate student. So that all culminates towards the third year where you'll do your research project. So really important skills in there. In terms of professional skills for nutritionists, this is developing all the skills you need to work on your own, to work in a team environment. Also, we get people from industry to come and talk to you as well. Okay. Physiology of exercise, we start getting you in the labs, we start looking at how the body adapts, and we start looking at introductory point of view. Food science, again, is more about this novel foods and how food has evolved, and we get you in the kitchen and start looking at the composition of food as well. In year 2, these colors are pretty grim. I'll apologize, I have to change these for next time. Year 2, we have nutritional assessment, physiology of training. So physiology of exercise is the first one, then training. Sports nutrition, where I come in, you know, the best module, I would say. And then research methods 2, and then you have a couple of optional modules. Okay, so you'll do 6 modules a year, 6 even, and we'll go from there. So nutritional assessment is now looking at how we assess nutritional intake, and also we look at energy expenditure there. So how do we actually assess what people are actually eating? Can we just use MyFitnessPal and take that for gold or not? Is there other methods we could use? Physiology of training, we've looked at exercise, we've looked at physiology in the first year, and we're now looking at training modalities. What happens when we work at lactate threshold? What does that do to the body? How does that impact our nutritional needs or recovery? And in sports nutrition, we go in and we start looking at the fundamentals. So in the first year, you've gone through what the average Joe needs. Now, what does the sports person need? So the average Joe might need 1 gram of protein a day, whereas we know that some sports people might need 2.2 grams per kilo body mass of protein a day. In terms of carbohydrates, where your mum, your dad, everyone else is saying, God, I can't have white bread, it's going to make me fat. Well, actually, athletes might need lots of that to refuel acutely so they can train well the next day. Okay, again, don't start me on this because I'll be gone. Research methods 2, we now start looking at your research proposal. It sounds early, but we'll start looking at research projects. You'll be given a supervisor, which will probably be me, or the other sports nutritionists in the department, and you just start thinking about your project for the third year. You have to choose then two options from the next few. So you've got food choice and food intake, social psychology of sports, so sports psychology, exercise physiology across the lifespan, or you can do a work experience module as well in the second year. Okay, so these are very similar, but you've got experience and employment in sport essentially. So you go and do a placement in a place of work, and then you do some research, some coursework alongside that. We don't worry about this until later in the first year. I'll come in, I'll talk to you about every single one of the modules, and we'll go from there. Okay, so like I said, research methods 2 is about your proposal, food choice and food intake. Again, this is about the general population more than anything. Social psychology, an interesting one for me, because we know that psychology and dietary intake are massively linked. Okay, so we'll look at that from a sports point of view, and then how we can use those skills to embed that into practice. And then across the lifespan, so we'll look at adolescents, elderly, masters athletes, and start thinking about how physiology might change as we get older, and how that then also interlinks with nutrition. Because when we get older, hopefully you can think about nans, granddads, or even maybe older parents who lose muscle mass called sarcopenia, or they lose bone mass called low bone mineral density or osteoporosis in some cases, and that can impact on our nutritional needs, and also can be linked to our training needs as well. In the third year, it's slightly different because you've now got this research project in yellow, which is double the module, so it's worth 2. So that's why it's really important we get that right in the second year. You'll do applied sport and exercise physiology. This is where you start looking at like the heat chamber, which we've got at St Mary's, which is awesome. Andy Murray comes in every now and then, and he's one of he's probably my favorite athlete of all time. So all time is a big one, but definitely the best at the moment. Functional novel foods is an optional module. You'll do your research project over the first and second semester. And then you have nutrition in the athlete, which is core. So this is again with me, where we start applying the skills we've developed in the second year and putting it towards an athlete. So you'll start looking at really applied, nice module where you'll look at an athlete, you'll do a dietary assessment, you'll come up with competition plans, training plans, travel plans, recipes, those sorts of things, and really develop those skills. It's a really nice module there, you'll enjoy that. And then you have an optional module again, so you'll have one of these 2, or a work experience again for functional novel foods or weight management, environmental physiology. And again, like I said, you've got some opportunities for work experience in that third year as well. So that's kind of the course. I'm hoping you've jotted down some questions if you wish. So I'm not going to go through this in too much detail because obviously this year we know that we're in the middle of a bit of a interesting time, but we do have team building activities, and this will not be forgotten. We will obviously make up for it. If we can't do it straight away, we will make sure that we have as many of these and fun days out as possible when we can get back to normal. So we normally do some outdoor activity day, whether that's in Hillingdon or it's more local now near Teddington Lock. As we stand at the moment, induction will likely be a mixture of online and hopefully in some capacity at St Mary's. If it's online, we will make sure it's interactive. So I've put in place something for September for this cohort, where we'll have things like going through the campus tours, making sure we get you involved with breakout rooms on Zoom. We'll have some live sessions, Q&As. We'll have like a quiz. It might sound like it's not as good as what it could be, but like I said, we're doing the best we can with the situation we find ourselves in, and we will make up for it. I can guarantee you on that one when we are back to normal. Okay. In terms of extracurricular activities, I'm not going to spend too much time here, but there's lots of opportunities for students to get involved in other in conferences. So there was one that we did at St Mary's called a Sweet Afternoon of Learning about sugar. There's also, we're looking at hopefully hosting a sport and exercise and health conference at some point, hopefully next year. We was planning for next year. We'll see what happens now. And then there's also, throughout the year, I'll also tell you where there's online and other conferences you guys can go to help support your learning. Student stories, I'm not going to go through this a great deal because obviously this is a really new cohort and this is actually someone from the nutrition program, but Very happy with the place. If any of you want to know more and actually find out from students on the course, please contact me, and I'm more than happy to give you a link of someone who's on the program so that you can get an honest approach from them. I know that you're all thinking I'm a salesperson here, but I'm happy to put you in touch with one of my undergrads in the first year, and they can tell you what life is like at St Mary's in the course, okay? In terms of the program and dissertations, so the dissertation is your final research project in the third year. That's a big thing we're working towards throughout. You have so many opportunities to do lots of different research. So there's some titles in there. Just to give you a bit of a heads up about some of the undergrads that I'm working with for next year. One of them is doing the effect of caffeine on esports. So someone's doing the effect of caffeine on reaction time and esports, so electronic sports, gaming, and looking at that. So you see how novel we can get on this. We've got other people that looked at things like New Zealand blackcurrant juice, extract, on sprint performance. We've got people that look at dietary intake habits or heat, or the impact of heat. Also people looking at menstrual cycle, nutritional status of different sporting populations. The world is your oyster on this one, really, guys. So over the course of the first 2 years, and we're hoping that you'll be able to develop a passion or an insight into something that you want answered, or you're not quite sure of, and hopefully you can start investigating that yourself and be the first person to do that, or start looking into what's already been looked at in research today, and hoping to help to answer those questions. So what makes us unique, and just to finish up really, so not give you too much longer, guys, we know it's an endorsed program, so the SENR are happy with what we're doing, and there's not a great deal. There are other universities in the country that do this program, but like I said, we are endorsed, we're happy with that. Our environment is very much sport heavy, so St Mary's is known for being a great sports university. We've got so much facilities off the back of that, we've got so many specialists off the back of that, which will help with your learning. Very applied course, so we're not just looking at theory and being book smart, we're looking at how we can use that theory and apply it to practice. Reasonably small group sizes, so like I said, you're not going to be in a group of 120 people and then be in a massive lecture theatre where no one can even hear you or give you the opportunity to speak. We've got smallish university classes, and we can work with you on a one-to-one to make sure you really thrive. Optional modules to give you, so you can tailor your degree. Okay, some universities don't look at that, and I really would recommend looking at that on all the courses you look at, and all the universities you're looking at, to make sure, because every sports or sport and exercise nutrition course or nutrition or sports science course, whatever you're looking at, will be different. Okay, so please look into the modules. Open door policy, knock on my door whenever you want. Obviously, if it's more than 3 or 4 times a day, I might tell you to chill out a little bit. But obviously, yeah, we're here to help, we're here to support, like I said, throughout this. And I think that's a massive selling point at St Mary's. It's a really, really nice environment. And I've been here for 4 years, used to work at a college in Uxbridge. And it's a good place to be from a staff and student point of view. So and that's, as I said, it's reflected in the student satisfaction survey as well. You'll see that. Assessment methods, we're a range of assessments throughout the course. So we develop all the skills needed to be a successful employee, whether you decide to go into sport and exercise nutrition or not. So we will develop the skills to make sure that you can be a successful alumni and have a really good career at the end of it. And then there's obviously links to continued postgraduate studies if you wanted to. So you could go straight into the master's program, which I also teach on, or you could go into other masters around the country in other courses, so you can progress on your academia and your research skills. So success stories. This is one of the guys who was on nutrition a couple of years back. He went and he started up his own company. So he took one of those modules that I've discussed in level 6. He started his own company and he won a grant for, I think, £3,000 from Santander to start up his company. He's a really kind of bright, outward, really smart kind of entrepreneurial kind of person who was always thinking about what next and how to apply this. So he really ran with that and did well, and we would support that. And that's 2 of our nutrition lecturers there next to him. And then we love a bit of cheese at the end. So the place to be is one of our slogans. I'm sure you've seen that before, but we have a Simmies festival in the summer normally. We have so many sports clubs. It's unbelievable for you guys to get involved in, whether that's really competitively or via the more social sports as well. Hundreds of clubs. Like I said, study abroad. We have our union as well, which is open for you guys to socialise and make friends. And it's a really nice campus. It's not far from London. Well-being as well, really important. We know it's a big transition to come into university. For a lot of you, will be moving out from home at some point as well. So we have well-being that are there to make sure that you guys have got the support needed if anything happens. Money, family, friends, bit of poor mental well-being. Like, again, that happens with everyone. A couple of times a year, I lose my head for some reason, struggling with work and things. And it's trying to get you in the right headspace. It happens to everyone. So we have that there and available for you guys. And then finally, like I said at the start of this presentation, please do contact me. I would rather you contact me and say, James, I'm looking at 4 or 5 other universities, which is fine. We know that, and that's absolutely fine. I want to know about this. Can you actually tell me about this? No problem. Okay. I'll be as honest and open as I can be. And please, any question is an important question. So please do get in touch with me. We do have all these Twitter and Instagram. Let's be honest, I'm not particularly good on social media, so you can go on there and you'll see a few pictures probably from a few years ago. But if you wanted to and you're really into that, then please feel free to follow us.